let me begin with a review of chapter 10. We are already pretty far into chapter 10 already, and almost ending. And so let me quickly share a few of the key ideas which, at least personally, I feel touches me a lot and inspires me a lot. Let's begin. Chapter 10, Teacher of Dharma. And in fact, Master have spoken of this 1 year ago. That was in 2016, May 26th, until 2016, August 21st. So for 61 days, Master spoke of this chapter. Of course, in between, there was this 20 days of her tour out around Taiwan. So there was a break in between. So in total, there were 61 days of sermons on this chapter, which on average is actually pretty quick. Master spoke pretty quickly of this chapter, but it's actually a pretty important chapter. And why? Let's have a very quick review on where is chapter 10 and where does it place within this whole Lotus Sutra. So we know we have 28 chapters in the Lotus Sutra, and chapter 10 is about one third in between. And we reached a place, through the story where we have seen various different disciples, venerables, that have been predicted of Buddhahood. So beginning from the most top capacity, that will be Shariputra. That's number one in wisdom within the voice hearers, practitioners. Of course, we also know that number one in wisdom in the Bodhisattva is Bodhisattva Manjushri. So there's two, number one in wisdom, one for the voice hearer, one for the Bodhisattvas. And of course, in this place, we have Shariputra being the top capacity, so the first to be predicted of Buddhahood, who is also the one that actually understood what Buddha wanted to say when at the beginning, the Buddha was praising about how the wisdom of the Buddha is so utmost and so profound and so wondrous that no one could understand except the Buddhas, except other Buddhas. And so hearing these and all the praises, Shariputra thought that, wow, there must be something deep in this, and Buddha is going to share something that we never heard before, something very profound and greater. And so he asked Buddha 3 times to preach the Lotus Sutra, and so on and so forth. We all know the story very well already. So from the top capacity to the middle capacity, there's the 4 great disciples. So we all know the names. I always forgot their English names. Mu Jianlian, Jia Jianyan, Xu Puti, and also Da Jia She Zunzi. Yep. So there's the four great disciples of that was second to be predicted, and then there was also the lower capacity that is headed by people like Ananda, like the Purna, Fu Luo Na Zunzi, and also like Rahula. The lower capacity, of course, that is also included in the learner or still learning, and also until this point, that's where we reach the teacher of Dharma, where in fact anyone, as long as anyone is willing to uphold the Buddha's the Lotus Sutra, to uphold the Bodhisattva path, anyone is willing to uphold will eventually attain Buddhahood. And Buddha gives prediction for the person also. Even after Buddha's passing, if after Buddha's passing, anyone is willing, after hearing even just a single word or a single sentence or a single stanza of the Lotus Sutra and feels rejoiced and feels happy, that person is predicted of Buddhahood also. So you see, an increasing number of people being predicted, and an increasing expanse of people being predicted, from the top capacity to the middle, to the lower, to the learn or still learning, or even to anyone, as long as we are willing to uphold. Until, of course, we have reached Devadatta, where all sentient beings, even Devadatta, even Long Nu, the dragon girl, the dragon maiden, even the animal sentient beings, they also, everyone already has that Buddha nature. And so, in fact, Lotus Sutra, one of the main key learning point from Lotus Sutra is that everyone has the Buddha nature, not just the top wisdom, Shariputra, the top capacity. No, everyone already has it. It's just whether we are inspired to do it or not. So we reach this position where we already opened up to very big, where anyone, as long as upholding, will eventually be able to attain Buddhahood. And in this chapter, it actually shares about how will Dharma be passed down, especially after the passing of Buddha. And this is the main key question of this chapter. How should Dharma be passed down, or how will Dharma be passed down? And it is also in this chapter where Buddha first began the idea of the Bodhisattva recruitment, trying to invite people to uphold the sutra. And don't worry, as the Buddha will care for you if you're willing, if you're just willing to uphold this sutra. There will be a lot of people, there will be a lot of benevolent friends that they will be there to be with you, as long as you're willing to uphold the Bodhisattva path, to uphold this sutra. So it is also the first time in the Lotus Sutra where the Buddha actually began to recruit Bodhisattva, to recruit everyone to uphold Lotus Sutra. So this is specialty of this chapter. And so from there we began to ask a few questions. So we know we ask about this chapter is about how the Dharma should be preached. And so naturally there is a few questions that should be asked. All right, how should the Dharma be preached? So who, what, when, where, how who will preach? Right? How to preach? Okay, don't dare to preach. How? Okay, must preach. Okay, uphold the Lotus Sutra, please. Okay, and preach what? Okay, so these are naturally a few questions that we would have in mind when we ask about how would the Dharma be passed down. And so in this chapter, each of these questions is actually brought up. Not say the question brought up, but it's answered. It's been talked about in this chapter. So it actually began with answering who will preach, who in the future time when Buddha after Buddha's passing, who will continue to preach. And so in the sutra it says, as long as one sentence or one stanza, this person, even just hearing one sentence or one stanza, or not just hearing, but is willing to secretly tell a person beside him, like, I know of a Lotus Sutra that's really, really awesome. It's a Buddhist, it talks about Bodhisattva path, and it's about helping people, selfless giving. It's about going out, help others, giving people joy, and that's it brings so much joy. And then it's what we should do. It's like a benefit. It's like what we can do. Everyone has the ability to do it. Secretly tell someone about this, even just doing that, and feeling rejoice, feeling happy in it, that person is predicted of Buddhahood. As simple as that. Sounds too simple. It feels as if, one sentence. It sounds as if one sentence is good enough. And so, the Lotus Sutra 28 chapters, probably I don't need to read so much. I just need to read one sentence, maybe uphold the Lotus Sutra, just a sentence. Okay, and it's good enough, right? Is that what I mean? Master says, of course not. Of course, it doesn't mean versus. So what it should mean? The affinity. single sentence is amazing. So when we hear of one sentence or one stanza or a single thought of joy, is important. It shouldn't become like a limit to us, saying that one sentence is good enough, and I just need to know. Knowing one thing means I know everything. It's not in that sense. But so I'm saying, one sentence or one stanza, it means the affinity of even a single sentence is amazing. And so if we're willing to go out and share with our members, share with people, share with them these that selfless giving is such a joy. Is something that as a human being we can do together, and that's how we could make this world a better place. Just sharing an idea like this to people could bring amazing affinities. Just like we have heard of the story of how we are doing in Mexico a lot, and we're not tired of repeating it because it's just amazing how we have really almost know a few Tzu Chi volunteers that were there, but not in the place of the disaster zone. So it's as good as no one knows about Tzu Chi. Yet when our brother Stephen was there, trying to find the government, and then asking around at the NGO people on the streets on how can we help, and share about the ideas of our master, share about how we do things, how we really hope to bring help to the people, and how giving is really selfless, and we are really doing this, and then and why in every of our distribution we always take out our bamboo bank to share that everyone has the ability. Everyone has the ability to help. Everyone has the capacity. Even a single coin that would not affect our livelihood. Yet, when these coins combined together, could help many people. And that single thought is good enough. It's not saying it's good enough. It's important and it's amazing. It's already able to bring joy to you, to yourself, at the same time bring relief to other people. And so every time we do it, Bamboo Bank, we share about it to people, even to the victims of disaster relief, because we know that even a single sentence, even a stanza, even a single thought of joy shared to people is important. And that will bring about amazing affinity. Because we never know. People out there, they are people, they are already, for their past, don't know how many lifetimes, they've already followed Master or followed the Buddha. They already have seeds of Bodhisattva within them. Just that after going through the lifetimes, probably already forgotten, or just that they just didn't have affinity to know that there's such an organization that are doing this. There's such a belief that there's really actually a group of people living out the spirit of Bodhisattva path. And so just by not quietly, or maybe we didn't really do it very quietly, we're doing distribution, on microphones, even going on the streets, on the car, asking who would like to be a volunteer. We are helping the disaster relief, so on and so forth. So we make it very loudly, share the ideas out, and that brings amazing affinities. And none of them have seen Master before, but we have even over 10 people over there in Mexico already taking refuge under our Master through telecasting. So that's really amazing. Which brings us again the idea of the later chapter, where the chapter 15, the Bodhisattva is emerging from the ground. If you want to ask, where does this Bodhisattva come from? How did they become such great Bodhisattvas? Who is their teachers? What Dharma do they follow? And our Buddha says that, their teacher is our Master, because they took refuge under Master. It's their teacher. And how had they become so amazing? I mean, Master have never been there. They've never seen Master before. Yet they are so amazing. And that the kind of eagerness, the kind of dedication, the kind of selflessness, even when they themselves are victims. Well, the only way we can understand this is for past lifetimes. Master has been teaching them, and they are disciples of masters. And so when affinity once connected, they are there already. They're out there. And so that's why a single sentence or a single stanza is important. Share it out. And so that's one of the most important first idea that was brought up in this chapter. And then from there, we also Buddha also says that you got to know there's such a person that when no one's hearing one sentence feels rejoice in their heart. Such a person is amazing because of his empathy towards sentient beings. The person let go of the better retributions to come to this Sabha world. Well, just ask ourselves, who would sacrifice oneself to help others? Selflessly giving help to others. Well, come to think of it, I know, of course, selfless giving, we have been hearing this so much, and to us, it sounds just nothing much. Well, it's because we have always been doing it, right? But imagine we were just ordinary people out there having a career, trying to get our life settled, to have a kid, things like that, and enjoy our life. An idea like this, sacrificing oneself, take our own leave, pay our own air tickets to go for disaster relief, or letting go of our Sundays and Saturdays where we could enjoy the time to go and do home visits, or to even and go to recycling stations like garbage men into the very smelly rubbish, and then so happily, so joyously segregating them only with a single thought, that is to leave a clean world to our next generation, for a cleaner world. Such ideas, imagine we were just ordinary beings out there hearing these ideas. I mean, who would really think as that's logical? Yeah, somehow as if goodness needs a selfless reason, but really that's how people would think. Like when we go and help people, the first idea they would think that, do you have any intention? Do you have any any are you here to preach a religion, or are you here to get any benefits, fame, or are you here to do some political things? When we go out on desires to leave, we always receive this kind of doubt, and that's just usual. That's just normal in this Saha world, because this is the world of suffering that we are in. When we are in this generation of Dharma decay, where goodness is no longer something as a norm, it becomes something that is unusual. And so even its affinity is like this in this era. And so an idea such as selfless giving is amazing. And come to think of it, if a person in this kind of era actually feels rejoice in sacrificing oneself, sacrificing own time, own money, where does that thought come from? The thought probably doesn't come from our teachers in school, or our or our society from Facebook. Probably don't see that around. But we had ideas, and when we feel happy about it, that probably the only answer, because past lives, that thoughts from Buddha has come down generation after generation, passing through the venerables, and then lifetime after, and all these people that feels rejoice of this idea. They must have been doing good in their past lives, and so which means because of their doing good, because of their good deeds, good thoughts, good speech for their past lives, they must have a better retribution. They actually would have a better retributions following the law of karma. They actually have a choice to follow the karma, go for a better retribution, heaven, or go to a better place. But they choose to come, so that's why Buddha says that such a person, when he feels rejoice of selfless giving. It's only because his empathy towards sentient being, and such an empathy was from past lifetimes, and he actually have a choice to go for better retribution, but he did. He vowed to come to this Saha world. He vowed to come to this Saha world to because of the empathy towards sentient beings, to come to this world. And so treasure all our members, all our brothers and sisters around us, because each of these people around us are amazing. They all come to this world. We all come to this world. We all must have come to this world because of a vow. And so we are here. And once hearing the name of Tzu Chi, hearing the name of Master Cheng, hearing the idea of selfless giving, we rejoice and we come over to participate, to volunteer our time. And all the people out there, they are volunteering, not with Tzu Chi, but out there volunteering, giving their life to people. Those are the people we should respect too, because they all come to this world with a vow. That's why they are in the Saha world. So again, this is the second idea that I felt really inspired from the chapter. And then from there, third is that if a person is to slander the Buddha for one kalpa, keep slandering the Buddha, for one whole kalpa long time, the sin is still little. But if you slander a practitioner that uphold this sutra, the sin is extremely. And let's reflect upon this idea. Why is it so? To the Buddha, his mind is empty. He has there's no self. The self is complete selflessness. And when it's complete selflessness, imagine it like air. And if you wave a bat towards air, the air won't do anything. In fact, you cannot hit air. It just doesn't have a form, and so you cannot hit it. So in the same way, Buddha is so selfless, as if empty. And so no matter what words of slander or slandering or defilement or defaming of the Buddha, there's nothing that was there to be hit. And so the love is still there. Of course, that comes back to the idea of the true emptiness and wondrous existence. So that love, the compassion, is wondrous existence. And that wondrous existence stems from emptiness, stems from the total selflessness. And because the Buddha is total selflessness, no matter how much you slander the Buddha, there's no change. Nothing more, nothing less. You praise the Buddha, nothing more. You slander the Buddha, nothing less. The Buddha still loves us. And so the sin is very little, because the Buddha will always forgive sentient beings and still care and still hope that sentient beings have a better future to eventually reach enlightenment. But if we have to slander a practitioner that were new in upholding this sutra, then the sin is extremely heavy, because a practitioner is still new on this path, and we all had that feeling before. If people, after doing good, after all the sweat and everything, and then people still say bad on us, or they're still quarreling, or wordings that is not so nice, whether between our brothers and sisters or from people other places. Hearing all this, it makes us feel like, why going through all this trouble? Why make myself feel bad? Doing all the good things, yet people doesn't care. Why? We will have these feelings, and then go down, or even maybe we will stop. And in the era of Dharma's Cave, where Buddha have already passed, if a practitioner, the upholding sutra, were to stop, then everything stops, and there will be no one to continue this idea of selfless giving. And imagine a world where there's not a single thought of selfless giving. Then there will be no affinity anymore. There will be no affinity anymore for helping each other, for giving, for selfless giving, for altruism, for this whole idea of making this world a better place. There will be no such ideas anymore, and then everyone will be selfless. Everyone will be just seeking their own agendas. Everyone will be asking just for their own enjoyment, for their own happiness, and then the environment will be deteriorating, and everything will just turn bad, and then quarrels and conflicts and no nuclear wars, and everything will happen. And imagine such a world. And we're not too far from it, actually. Yeah. And so treasure all our brothers and sisters around us. Treasure everyone out there that's willing to give, that's willing to be selfless, is willing to help each other. Treasure them. Be very, very grateful, because Master is always grateful to all our brothers and sisters. And it is in this sense, because just such a single thought of helping others, you cannot ask for an affinity that combines together. And so we are together today. And so it'll always be nice to our brothers and sisters, always help each other on this path together. So again, this is the third point. Fourth point that I'll reach and I'll end today's sharing is on how to Dharma. We heard of the three directives. I think this idea, this name really is termed very well. Three directives that gives us the principle or the direction of how we should practice. And that is, the three things is, great compassion is the room, gentleness and patience are the clothing. Emptiness of all phenomena is the seat, and on this basis one preaches. Great compassion is the room. Master just shared yesterday that this is a room that we enter, and in fact, who benefits when one enters a room? It's ourselves. Ourselves benefits when we enter the room, because when we enter the room, we don't have to worry about the rain. We don't have to worry about the snow. You don't have to worry about the hot sun, because we're in the room. Which actually brings back to the same idea of how the Buddha is never will not be affected by slander because of complete selflessness. So in that sense, when we have great compassion, this great compassion is like a room that will protect us. Any slandering or any defilement, it protects us. And this great compassion again is this room like that holds 100 people. This room that holds 1,000 people. This room that holds 1 million people, 1 billion people, 70 billion. Such a room like this room is love. It's great compassion. The room of compassion is always encompassing. It's always embracing. Yes, that we should be in, we should enter this room of great compassion. And then there's also the clothing of gentleness, of patience, of forbearance, so that when we meet all kinds of people, when we all meet all kinds of situations, we are not affected. I want to show a video later on very quickly on this idea. But of course, the seeds of emptiness, we've shared a lot of true emptiness and wondrous existence on the past few sharings. And all those things comes back to just one single idea. That is, do not be attached. Do not be attached to anything. Do not be attached. Do not have the mind of attachment. So let go of all attachments. Let go of all things, because all phenomena is empty. All phenomena is affinities combined, and so it's a name that we given to it. It always changes. It always its impermanence is out there, and so everything's empty. Do not be attached. Do not let our mind, our emotions be affected by the things around us. Have empty mind, and that's the truth of all phenomena, of all Dharma, of all natural laws. And these three ideas, the compassion is the room, gentleness and patience are the clothing, the emptiness of all phenomena, the clothing and the seat. These three things is connected to the six perfections. That is the Bodhisattva's path that the Bible says leading us. The six perfections, the giving, precept, forbearance and diligence, samadhi and wisdom. And I realized actually passion leads to giving. This is the giving, to the precepts that we hold, because we don't want our actions to bring suffering to people. And so we keep precepts to protect ourselves and also protect others. And that comes from the room of compassion. And then the room of forbearance bring us diligence, because when we are not affected by the surroundings, we just do it, we know that the thing is right, so we just do it, and nothing will affect us. Nothing will stop us from continuing the Bodhisattva's path, and that would mean diligence. There's pure, there's clean, there's always moving forward, not backwards. That's diligence. And so room of forbearance brings us that two ideas, and then the seat of emptiness brings us again no attachment. And that when we have no attachments, our mind will become and serene. And that's the state of samadhi. And in the state of samadhi, we have wisdom, the wisdom of truth, the truth of everything, the truth of whole universe. Is emptiness, is the kind of no attachment, and through emptiness brings us back to compassion and then forbearance, and this cycle continues and forth. And so the three directives is connected very greatly to the six perfections, and that's a path that Master is bringing us, because Master leads us through giving to help, and that's a room of compassion. Master leads us, open up the door, let us into this room of compassion, to let us know that giving is a joy, that giving is writing our own script for our path, our next life, is planting the blessings to this world. So we come in to first learn how to give, and the move bank and so on and so forth. We all came in this way to learn to give, and then through giving, after practicing, after our training, we get this cloth of forbearance. Of course, this cloth comes with the precept, comes with the image of a Tzu Chi member, comes with all the disciplines, all the kind of guidelines. As the brothers and sisters, we follow. We always walk 2 rows. We always take care of each other, and that's why Master named these clothes the clothes of forbearance as well. 柔和忍辱衣. And that's a cloth that protects us from the hotness and coldness out there, and protects us from the wind and the rain. It protects us from the slanderings and defilement. And such is the gift the Master has given us, the clothes of forbearance. And then from there, we move on, practice to become more and more selfless. As we listen to the Dharma, as we listen to the teaching in our morning Shu Fa Xiang sermons, we learn that, actually, being selfless is such a joy in the mind. And then really the truth of the universe is emptiness. And so slowly we learn to be sentient, to threefold emptiness, where really there's no person giving, there's no person receiving, there's nothing really given. These 2 days must also speak of the idea that one whole day we have been for one whole always constantly liberating sentient beings, but yet there's actually no sentient beings that have been liberated or been transformed. But transforming sentient beings for one whole day, but actually there's no sentient beings being transformed. Of course, it sounds like a tongue twister, but this whole idea, what does it mean? Master says, because everyone already has the Buddha nature. Everyone already has that the seed of goodness, and we already have that. And so it's not as if we went to transform people, and then they have the seeds of giving. They already have it. We all already have the Buddha nature. It's just that we came as an affinity. We came to become affinity, a benevolent friend. Affinity that gave the kind of a inspiration to also have the goodness. And so they came forward to help together. And so they also become the person that transforms people. So who's been transformed? Well, no one really, because through these 3 directives, putting it in action with us on this Bodhisattva path. So that's really the whole idea. We can listen to this back at home. Sorry, probably I have to skip this. But Master uses the 3 directives to as the song for our teachers association. That as a teacher, the teacher lives in a room of compassion. Let her heart be filled with love. Wear a robe of forbearance. Let her mind not be afflicted. Sit on the seeds of emptiness, not attached and no stubbornness. Teachers with virtue and our action. This is the way a teacher should preach. So to all the teachers out there, you can listen to this song more and more. It really brings a lot of inspiration. Sorry, bad. Was having a fever a few days ago. Okay, I want to show a video. A very quick video. This was a document, kind of like a movie, a series Buddha's story. It was really done very well. Search on YouTube for Buddha. It was made in India, and it really matches I think it matches very closely to probably what was true. And so this was the scene where Buddha was sitting under the Bodhi tree in that very last moment before he attained enlightenment. So it was like the last battle in his heart. And this is the scene I want to show everyone. I know this scene gives me a lot of inspirations because it's all the fire arrows and the fire knives throwing at the Buddha, and everything to the Buddha is like an aura. Everything to the Buddha just becomes flowers. And well, think about this. Yeah, and like in this question, how long do you take to switch to positive thought to to the Buddha? Well, it's very fast. Every single arrow shoot at him like a swarm coming to him. Very quickly, he changed everything to flowers. And how about us? Well, to me, about half a day. To me, it took about half a day to, when I feel bad, when someone speaks ill of me, or things like that, when I hear something that doesn't feel comfortable, it takes about half a day for me to really turn my mind all the way till it was positive. And so that maybe. So I don't know. Buddha is really amazing. He really changed everything. Switched super fast to positive thoughts, just like that. And how quick can it be? So practice. We still have a long way. At least I have a long way. And so let's practice together. And so that's fixing all this, and then I'll end my slide over here today. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you.
Brother Yuping, for the fantastic sharing. Okay, today we have sharing from Cheng as well, but if we have time, we will have sharing from SD as well. We'll pass it to Cheng first. Sister Suisan, can please take over, Ka'an?
Good morning, Sister Tzu Chi and brothers and sisters. Here is Sister Emma. She's a Filipino, and she has been diligently attending morning this Saturday weekly Shin Fa Xiang. I pass it on to Sister Emma.
Good morning, brother and sister. Good morning, brother and sister around the globe. This is my second time to sharing from Cheng. So I can tell all about my experience also about Tzu Chi and what is happened for a whole year. So I believe also in compassion because it happened to me. What is I've done in my family? What is the blessing coming to me every year? So what is I'm done in my employers? How I are hard working to them every day. I'm working for 17 hours every day. So I make my strong. All my family, I have them every time. So I have a lot of experience about hardness, but I can manage. So now I join Tzu Chi, add my work, so but I can manage my time. Before I leave my house, I can do everything I've done, and then my employer and then can appreciate me everything. So my blessings is about my niece. I make them scholarship. I support them for the schooling, studies, everything. So I have 4 nieces to finish study now. So I am very happy because they have never disappointed me to help to help them financially. They are study hard so they can reach out our future generation too. So I'm very grateful that they are passed their board exam too. So they are very successful. So now they are still working all they are four together. So I'm very, very happy about this. So about my family, they are very healthy too. So about me, my job, everything is okay too. My Dharma, my Dharma, of course, got a lot of sharing. Every attended my training class or whatever, but I got a lot of questions about sharing, but all the same thing. But for me, it's different now because I made, you know, my maid is a different job, but I can see all the brothers and sisters around the globe. It's my work is like them. If, especially they are doing the duties for the poor, the helping poor, everything. So I'm very grateful that there are feelings how I work every day. Because they are, like, for example, that day we go the Penang flood, so I can see all the brothers and sisters like they are superwoman, like a Superman, because they are carry a lot of things, like they cannot tire, well, we cannot carry everything. So got a lot of brothers and sisters that even though the raining very hot, still we are doing our duties to help our flood victims in Penang. So that's what I'm sharing today. I'm very grateful because Tzu Chi is have a compassion, so I can continue to join and continue also to sharing all my friends around the globe, or all my friends is even if I go home Philippines, so I want to sharing them too. Okay, thank you very much. Happy New Year.
Pass on to you, Sister Tzu Chi.
Today we have Sister Emma for the great sharing. We have with us Brother Jeff, who will continue from his last Saturday talk. Okay, over to you, Brother.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. I have 10 minutes. Today I have 10 minutes to hopefully I could complete the further elaboration from last week's leftover from last week. We touch on the Zhongmen and Famai. We touch on the Tzu Chi school of Buddhism, Zhongmen, and the Jing Famai, Jing Dharma lineage. So today I would like to, in 10 minutes, actually we cannot do it in 10 minutes or so. You see, Sister Tzu Chi said maybe we go for part 3, but I try to share as much as possible. We're just sharing what I realized from this, the importance of the Jing Dharma lineage. Now, what is Jing Dharma lineage? In simple explanation is that is like the head, the brain, the central nervous system. That is the Famai, the Dharma lineage. And Tzu Chi Zhongmen is the other organs like liver, the kidney and this. So we need to have a strong head, brain, central nervous system. That is the Jing Dharma lineage. And we have the Dharma lineage first, then only we have the Tzu Chi Zhongmen. The Jing will come first, Zhongmen second. So Lord Buddha taught the expedient means, the skillful means for the first 43 years. Towards the end, to the last 7 years, Buddha taught the Dharma lineage, the Famai, the truth, the real Dharma. So for the first 43 years, we know it is for sentient beings, Wei Zhongsen. But the last 7 years is Wei Fo Jiao. We do it for Buddhism. Now, a little bit on Jing Famai. Jing Famai is Jing Dharma lineage. If you want to know more about Jing Dharma lineage, Master Cheng reminds us to watch WAD, or you come Xun Fa Xiang. For the Zhongmen, yeah, for Tzu Chi School of Buddhism, try to watch it. Try to watch the Live Wisdom 7:45. That is on that is on the Tzu Chi School of Buddhism. If you want to enhance with Jing Dharma lineage, you go for WAD, Wisdom at Dawn. Jing Chengyu, yeah. Okay, now Fa Mai is Zimen, the door of opening the wisdom. Zhongmen is the door of love and compassion. That's Beimen, yeah. Zhongmen is the Beimen. You open up the door of loving kindness and compassion. When you talk about Jing Dharma lineage, you're talking about the trans-mundane methods. We live in the mundane world, yeah, as physical mundane world, and that is 入世法, mundane. 出世法 means you try to cross it into the trans-mundane. It's more on the mind, more on the spiritual side, yeah. So in this Jing Si aphorism, we have this 做中学, that is part of Tzu Chi School of Buddhism. 学中觉, that is Fa Mai. Through doing, we realize. Yeah, what do we realize? We realize the truth. Now, what truth? Four Noble Truth, suffering, yeah, impermanence, yeah, and what causes suffering, okay. So 学中觉, we only through doing, through this working in the 4+8 missions in Tzu Chi, we will realize the truth. That is, and then 觉中悟, or 做中学, 学中觉, 觉中悟, you will realize the truth. This is called the Bodhisattva path. Okay, now there is this 信解行证, the process of how you reach Buddhahood. There are four steps. We start with 信解行证. You have got to have faith, then the true understanding, then we take action, we practice, we cultivate. Then towards the end, we have to verify, we have to prove it. Now, how you expect everyone to accept life is a suffering, you know, life is impermanence. Through all our Tzu Chi schools, Buddhism, the teaching, through masters platform, you know, through the missions of charity, education, and medical, or through all this school of Buddhism, we learn how to verify what Lord Buddha taught 2,500 years ago, to verify suffering. Is it true? Impermanent, is it true? Now, how to, just now Brother Joe Chang mentioned the selfless, the altruism. How you verify the wu wo, you know, the selfless, the anatta. Do we have time for the song, Sister Susan? Maybe we go for the song, yeah. Maybe together we can enjoy this Dharma song. But before we go for the song, there's another 32 words that I like to share. Is you know, the 静极清澄知玄虚末. You know, in all the Tzu Chi Gong Xiu Chu, all the centers and in Jing Si Tang, the moment we enter the hall, we will see these 32 words. 静极清澄知玄虚末, 手之不动100千劫. Now, what does that represent? That is to give you the answer straight away, that is our Fa Mai, that's Jing Si Dharma lineage. Now, 无量法门示现在前，得大智慧，通达诸法. That is our Tzu Chi School of Buddhism. That is our Zhongmen. And and last week also you shared Fa Mai is for 修慧的, cultivation of wisdom, and Zhongmen is for cultivation of blessing. Okay, so while doing more work, we have blessing, but not to leave out the cultivation of wisdom. So 中门法脉 is 修慧, and then 福慧两诸尊. You need to walk with two legs. 中文 one leg, 法脉 another one. And then we have this unconditioned Dharma and conditioned Dharma. 有为法 the conditioned Dharma, 无为法 unconditioned Dharma. We have the 真空, we have the 妙有. 真空 is the 法脉, 妙有 is the 中文. And we have the lately master, I think just now Brother Zhou Chang also mentioned how to 转念, how to turn one single thought, how fast you can turn, how fast you can turn a negative thought, for example, into a positive one. Like Master Cheng always say, is split of a second, just 一秒钟, 一辈子, just one second of the good thought or negative thought that will decide your future. That's one lifetime, you see. One second is one lifetime. 一秒钟一辈子. There is a book on this analogy of the meaning of this split second thing. Can we have the song, Sister Tzu Chi?
Okay, Brother Jeff. Okay, maybe we pass over to Hualien. Let Brother Joe comment first, then we will end it with the song. We all sing together. Okay?感恩 everyone. Brother Jeff.
感恩。
我说因为你在，对，才发这个。Thank you, Brother Jeff. I think we should have left one whole session on Saturday to you. yeah. But I think that was very, very well sorted out. The Dharma lineage and the Tzu Chi school of Buddhism, how each of the Dharma falls into these two categories, and how each of these two actually combines into the two legs, Fu Hui Liang Zhu Zun, and that's the path that we're working on. So that was really, really well organized, and that makes all the ideas connect together very clearly. Thanks for the sharing. I think I'm sure you have still a lot more. Maybe Sister Tzu Chi we should have the next Saturday. Then Brother Jeff to share first, half an hour complete or something like that.
Okay, thank you, Brother Jeff. I walked in at around halfway through, and it was wonderful to hear Sister Irma and also Brother Jeff sharing. At the end here, I just have something that I want to share with everybody as we are approaching A01 already. As today is already December 30th, I think our year is coming to an end, and the new year is about to begin. I just want to say my gratitude to everybody in that along the way, we are helping each other to get a better understanding of what Dharma is. And there are those who learn more and who are more experienced, and there are those who are beginning to learn. There are those who has the heart full of energy, full of new ideas. That is what makes this group mingle, because we are together learning and on how to make sense out of all this, especially in this time of turmoil when things are not going right for the whole world. We all have our ups and downs, but it is this group every Saturday that we find, most of us find the stability, and that this is where we are connected to the Dharma, to the source. And for that, I have a lot of things to be thankful for. And this is one of the things that I'm very thankful for. And very quickly, it will be 2018. So I look forward to another great, wonderful year with all of us, whether newcomers or people that have been here for 2 years, 3 years, for understanding of Jing Dharma lineage. And looking forward to the next year.
Just to say bye. Happy New Year! Happy New Year!
Brother Joe Huang, Brother Yo Ping, Sister Emma, Brother Jeff, and everyone for sharing lots of life wisdom. Thank you, Pusa, for your presence today. Hope that each of us could sustain the Dharma joy and take in another piece of Masters and Hualien love to our life. Let us please make 3 bows to the Buddha and Master Zhen Yan as we depart to apply these teachings in our daily lives. Let us pay our respects to our teachers of life, universal truth. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. And a bow to our beloved Sifu who could join us today. Kanan everyone. Happy New Year. Happy New Year.